Hey guys, it's Austin. I'm here to profile my Melffy deck that I just beat locals with. I got first place, undefeated, 4-0 in a 20-man tournament. My matchups were Dinosaurs, PK Fire, Unchained, and then Drytrons. So yeah, I'm here to show you guys my 50-card pile of Melffys. I think it did pretty good, and the results speak for themselves. So I'll just go on ahead and get into the profile. Any combos or anything, just go on ahead and comment in the comments down below, and I'll see if I can answer any questions about why I play certain things or anything else. And I'll go through it and explain some things now. Rescue Cat is a one-card multi-combo maker, so I play it. Mind Mole is literally just to go into Nat Beast with Valorophon. Valorophon is like Lumina for the deck, so it's pretty good. Mind Mole just draws a card when it uses a synchro material, so I find that pretty useful. Especially when you actually have to make the Nat Beast. Using your Rescue Cat into Nat Beast and then getting your card back is pretty good. And I apologize for shaky hands right now. Puppies, I only play 2 because they're searchable. And I like 2 because the Countess is at 2. And then I play 1 Catty. I feel like this engine is just fine. 2 Puppy and 1 Catty is just fine for being searchable, doing its thing. From there, I play 2 Countesses and 1 Hoppier Squad, so that I can pop things during their turn, and I can use Hoppier Squad to make Herald during their turn. There's nothing else I really want to make other than Herald, so yeah. I used to play Cyframe Lord Omega, so that if I gammed them and I had this in hand, I could make the Omega. Or if I gammed something, like if I Rescue Catted and they used Ash, I could then make an Omega and punish them more, but it just didn't come up as much anymore, so I stopped playing Omega. 1 copy of Alpha. He's searchable, and he breaks boards, so if you draw him, he's good. If you search him, he's good. Search him when you need him. Then we get to the Tri-Brigade engine, and I'm playing 3 Karis. He's really good because he's a good extender. Double Kit, because Kit turns into a search because you can dump Nerval. And I play the 2 Nervals just to get dumped off the Kits or discarded by this or Valorophon or anyone else. From there, I play triple Fractal. Fractal dumps the Nerval so that you can search. Having a bunch of search and consistency is amazing. The fact that any of these on the board let you link with your grave is also just amazing. It's not a true link summon, but it's really good regardless. Then I play the Barrier Statue and this, Mist Valley Apex Avian. For different matchups, they're good for different things. And then you can sideboard into Dark Samorg for back row decks, which is nice. Then I'm actually playing another engine in the deck. I'm playing double Ecclesia and 1 Fleur-de-Lis. Because after they negate everything else you're doing, you can just dump into your Servant or something and just make some extra negates and pops. So yeah, I think it's a very useful engine. This is now to Dragoon if you just normal this and search your Fleur-de-Lis. This non-targeting negates, so you can just stop a Dragoon. And then it can crash with that Dragoon. Or you can do other things to get rid of the Dragoon after you've made it targetable, like Calantosa. For hand traps, I'm playing double Crow instead of Bell because Crow is actually a winged beast, which helps your Tri-Brigade engine. Outside of that, he's okay. He gets sided out sometimes depending on the matchup, but he's good. Double Ash. I don't want to see more than 1 at any given time, and yeah, that's honestly the only reason I'm not playing 3. I think it's a good card, but it's not as impactful. So I just play 2. And then I play 3 Gamma, because Gamma can stop Ashes. So, yeah. So many times you can pitch a Fractal or sacrifice your Rescue Cat or just make some other play, and they'll try to hand trap you, like Ash, who's not as impactful when you have Gammas. Or you can Gamma people's Gammas, which is pretty neat. It came up today that I Gammaed someone's Lancia, which was cool. From there, we go to spell cards. I play 3 Servant. It searches Ecclesia, and then Ecclesia searches Punishment, so it's pretty good. Triple Obedient Schooled. If you do not get ashed here, you will do so many good combos if you want. And if you do get ashed and you have Gamma, you just use the Gamma. Because Obedient Schooled's restriction doesn't apply until it resolves. So, hey, it's pretty good. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Losing to Mystic Mine isn't fun. And just in general, fighting against different decks like say Unchained, if they set 2 or 3, you could just normal summon your Wind Barrier statue and activate this and blow them out entirely. Just a bunch of different random matchups that this comes up against. Back row removal is good this format. 1 Called By, you play 1, it's kind of sacky. It's a 4th copy of Gamma essentially, or another Ash, Or if you don't get hand trapped, you just set it, and when they do something in their grave, you stop it. It's really good against Drytrons with their bin tin, or for other things. One Monster Reborn. I just wanted one more extender in the deck, so Monster Reborn. One Melffy Hide and Seek. It's searchable, so I play one. And then from there we go Tri-Brigade Revolt. Revolt's pretty good because you can search it, and lets you make the link 4 during their turn. And then I'm playing one Dogmatic Punishment. One Punishment's pretty good. It searches, and then you can dump Ntis, Elder Entity Ntis, to pop 2 of their cards. It pops 1 and Ntis pops 1. And then a triple Imperm because it's pretty good this format. That rounds up the 50 card pile that I play. Then we'll go into the extra deck. For the extra deck, one Almirage, because Almirage is pretty good this format, especially with Kit and Nerval. It just fixes really bricky hands. If you don't have a bricky hand, you don't summon this thing. So it's just there to fix the bad hands. And if you don't open any Tri-Brigades, you'll probably do some other completely unrelated combo. One Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep's pretty good. It lets you get rid of your Gamma and Driver if you Obedient Schooled, and then they try to ash you and you use Gamma. Or Cross Sheep lets you go into other things. Some people are playing a second Farragut. I didn't like the second Farragut because you couldn't make it with the Gammas and Drivers and stuff, so Cross Sheep. One Farragut. Farragut's good because it can draw and put one back, and it can also extend by summoning out of the hand. Other than that, it's really good to link off into the Cross Sheep with it, with the Bearbrum, and that's the main reason Cross Sheep's there, is to turn into something with this and Bearbrum, or Bearbrum and anything else into Cross Sheep. And then I can still use this as an extender later if I need it. Bearbrum really opened the deck up to so many things. Just being able to bring back banished monsters and search the trap card. The Tri-Brigade Revolt is just so good. Sure, it's not a plus right away, but when you flip the Revolt on their turn and you get the Kit and the Nerval and maybe a Farragut back, you'll get a free draw shuffle, essentially, where you draw one and then put one back. This searches the trap card when it's sent to the grave. And I can't say enough that the Tri-Brigades being sent to the grave off of Nadir Servant is also really good, especially this guy for the free search. But we'll get there in a second. But this thing being able to summon things back and searching the trap is just absolutely nutty. Then we have Shrike. Non-targeting Banish is just amazing, and then being able to search things when he dies is just fantastic. I would maybe play a second. I just don't know what I would cut for him yet. The extra deck space is a little tight, but he's fantastic. One Samorg, Bird of Sovereignty. This is an auto win against most Drytron decks. If you just summon this and summon the Barrier statue, if they don't open Droplets, they're just not going to play Droplets or Dark Ruler. But if they don't open those, they're not playing. They can't get over the Wind Barrier statue in this. They don't have a normal summon big enough to swing over the statue, and the one normal summon they have is Herald of the Diviners. It dumps Ntis. Ntis can't target this or it, so it doesn't matter. And if they dump Herald and search like a Benton, it's just a Benton in their hand. They can't use any of their Drytron effects to start going anywhere. So it is what it is. You play this, honestly, so that if you get a Tri-Brigade on the field, like if you have the Wind Barrier statue out and you summon Nerval, you can use Nerval to summon this, and then this can get rid of your Wind Barrier statue for you to OTK them. That's for every deck, not just Drytrons. On top of that, this is just a Compulse. It's really good. I love this card. It put in so much work throughout the whole tourney today. All these cards did exactly what they were supposed to do. It almost never came up that I wanted more than one. The Link 2 Beasts can all be shuffled back with the Melffy Hide and Seek, so everything that you would play more than one of, you can just shuffle back yourself. And the Melffy Hide and Seek is searchable off of Melffy of the Forests. Normally, I'll use something like Rescue Cat to get a Melffy Puppy and a Tri-Brigade Kit, and then detach the Kit in order to search a Puppy. And then the Kit dumps Nerval, Nerval searches Karis. That can be a one-card combo your whole way into a Samorg against most decks. If you have any other beast in your hand, you can just summon the Puppy at the end step and then the Barrier statue. And if they can break your Barrier statue, then you have Kalantosa pops on their turn and all sorts of other stuff to interrupt them. One Joyous Melffys. This card's amazing. The fact that you can just put anything from Obedient Schooled under it or anything else. And then this thing can also just bounce during the opponent's turn to revive things. I've gotten so many Puppies and Caddies back that were in the grave that I just couldn't get out. So I would just put 2 Tri-Brigades under this thing, make it, and then bounce it on their turn to get Puppy Caddy, and then use Puppy Caddy to pop something and search Hop Your Squad and then make Herald on their turn. And if it gets into the grave or anything, you just shuffle it back with Melffy's of the with Hide and Seek. It's super duper good. So yeah. Other than that, he also can detach to attack directly, and you can make Zeus. Believe it or not, more times than not, I make this and then make Zeus on top of it by just swinging 500. Yeah, comes up a lot, but Zeus is there, and he's awesome. From there, we have double Herald, because you can do the Herald play twice throughout a game, usually the most. I could cut him to 1. Maybe that's what I would cut for the second Shrike, but Herald's awesome. If you find any 1 card you want to cut from the main deck, playing 1 Sarvis in this deck is super duper good, because you can search it off the Herald, and then Farragut can put it back if you dead draw it, or even Bearbrum can put it back if you dead draw it. No one expects you to negate something and then search another hand trap for free. It's super duper good, specifically for this deck. I wouldn't even play it in like Drytrons or anything, but this deck just takes any tiny piece of advantage and runs with it so easily. So I think he's really good. 1 Naturia Beast. Naturia Beast just wins so many matchups by itself. Dinosaurs sometimes need to just resolve their Fossil Dig or their Lost World or something, and he just shuts them out. And if you can put up any other amount of negates or interruptions with him, he's super hard to deal with. Sure, he can't negate a Dark Ruler or a Droplets if they pitch monsters, but most things can't stop those cards. So with those few cards as exceptions, he's awesome. And if you ever run into a Sky Striker player, it is a free 2-0. It is just insanely silly. 1 Intis to dump off at the Punishment, so that Punishment can pop 2 things. Sometimes you'll go first and you'll use Nadir Servant to dump this to pop certain things, but that's perfectly fine. He just gets rid of certain things. I honestly started playing this deck during Drytron format before, when Ben 10 was at 3, and they would make the Vanities Ruler, and I would just Nadir Servant this to the grave and force them to Orange Light it, and then I'd normal Ecclesia, and if they didn't stop the Ecclesia with a second Orange Light, I would just search Punishment and then use Punishment to pop the Vanities Ruler anyways. So I'm perfectly okay with this engine still staying. And the newest addition was Titaniclad. For the longest time, I was playing the Tri-Brigade fusion monster, but I decided that Ecclesia turn 1 searching Punishment, and then at the instep searching Fleur-de-Lis was just way better. Shout out to my friends who taught me this. This is awesome. It didn't occur to me to do it, but having Nadir Servant be 2 pops and a negate is just absolutely silly. You can do all of your other combos and extensions and then just end on an extra 2 pops and a negate. So yeah, this was my Tri-Brigade Melffy deck. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And have a good day, everybody.